Hello everyone, my name is Nikki Myers and I'm a yoga therapist and teacher, a somatic experiencing or trauma healing practitioner, and a founder of the program that I'd like to tell you about today, Y12SR, the Yoga of 12-Step Recovery. Founded in 2003 out of personal experience, Y12SR is a relapse prevention program that couples the principles and practices of the 12-step program with the ancient principles, practices, and philosophy of yoga. The 12-step program has been hands down effective in helping millions of people dealing with their addictive behaviors. And for many, the biggest issue is not so much getting clean or temporarily stopping the addictive behavior, it's staying stopped. Life shows up, and it becomes very easy to go back to old behaviors. In a word, the characteristics and effects of addiction could easily be described as separation. Addictive behaviors separate and disconnect us from ourselves, from other people, from our environment, and from whatever it is that we call that bigger energy. Conversely, yoga is often translated, the word from its Sanskrit roots, as union, integration, balance, wholeness. As one of my teachers often says, yoga and its practices teach the fine art of balancing our multidimensional lives while living in a complex, dynamic, and ever-changing world. The 12-step program approaches addiction at a cognitive level. Yoga includes a somatic approach. The combining of the two creates a model that truly addresses addiction as the physical, mental, and spiritual dis-ease that it is. Y12SR recognizes that yoga and its practices are one part of a holistic recovery program. It is in no way a replacement for any other part of a 12-step program, nor does it represent or have an affiliation with any other 12-step organization. Rather, it provides adjunct tools to address the disease of addiction. Based on Yoga Sutra 216, which says Heya Dukkha Managatam, which means future suffering can be avoided, Y12SR explores how to recognize and identify the signs of relapse at the level of body, energy, action, and more. It uses and teaches models from the ancient texts of the Upanishads, the Yoga Sutras, and much more to become aware of the kind of imbalance that leads to relapse before it happens. There are three components to the Y12SR program. The first is Y12SR ongoing weekly meetings. These classes are for anyone and everyone dealing with their own addictive behavior or affected by the addictive behavior of others. It is an open and inclusive group. We say all A's are welcome. The group sharing and practice recognize that the issues live in our tissues. And through the themed intentional yoga practice, guided by our breath, we open to the process of releasing whatever is held, realigning ourselves at the level of body, energy, mind, character, and heart. The second component is the Y12SR 12-Step Study Intensive. This component deepens understanding and application of the symbiotic relationship between yoga and the 12 steps. In it, we explore the sources of addictive behavior. We investigate yogic and 12-step principles as a foundation of recovery. We discover sustainable ways for self-regulation that enhance physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. And we learn how to use the tools and practices of yoga to support recovery and avoid pitfalls and traps. The third component of the Y12SR program is the leadership training program. This program gives yoga teachers, counselors, and others working with the addiction recovery population tools to offer Y12SR ongoing meetings and classes within their own communities. Participants in the leadership training learn to create safe, sacred, open, inclusive space that welcomes all those dealing with addictive behaviors. They learn to understand the 12-step process, as well as recognizing the symptomology of unresolved trauma and a dysregulated nervous system. They learn to use yoga and its practices to provide relapse prevention tools and sustainable ways for managing internal states. They learn to recognize traps and work in a collaborative fashion within the group setting and with institutions. They learn to develop a network of professionals, including trauma experts and others in the addiction recovery field. Our leaders are simply called space holders. And now, with more than 100 space holders trained through the leadership training program, Y12SR has become a grassroots movement with weekly meetings popping up all across the United States. To find out more about weekly meetings, the 12-step study intensive, and the Y12SR leadership training program, please visit www.Y12SR.com. My invitation to you, come join the movement. The benefits have been profound. There are many, many stories like the one I'm about to tell. This one is just one of my favorites. One of the things we do in our group sessions is to explore how breath changes energy. After each person shares, the group grounds, and then we take a deep breath together. There was a young woman who had been coming to the Y12SR groups, the ongoing meetings, for about 6 months, whose addiction history included child neglect and abuse. After going through a rehab program, her children were given back to her care. She came to the group one day and reported that after an emotionally stressful, nerve-wracking day, she went home to whiny and demanding kids. She said she could feel her nerves just escalating about to the breaking point. She said it was then that she stopped and she heard this voice say in her head, "Let's ground and let's all take a big, deep breath with Mary Jo." And of course, that's a made-up name. It was the thing that she said next that still sends chills up my spine. She said, "In that moment, I stopped. I felt my feet on the ground. I took a deep breath, and I didn't beat my kids." It's reports like these that let me know that this program works. So again, my invitation to you is to come join the movement. Once more, you can find out how by visiting www.Y12SR.com, and you're welcome to email me at Nikki, N-I-K-K-I, at Y12SR.com. Thank you so much for listening. Namaste.